Hi there, welcome to No Nonsense Whiskey. My name's been PF, and on today's episode we're going to be covering the newest Summerton release from June 2022, and we have a Wolfburn, and this is actually a Latitude. We'll get into the kind of packaging in a little bit, but Wolfburn is not something that I've explored a hell of a lot. Actually, the only two bottles I've ever owned of Wolfburn have come from Summerton, so interesting to cover them. Not to say that it's a distillery I avoid by any stretch. I've tried a few samples here and there. Don't know why. I mean, I don't ever see it in some of my shops that I go to, but I don't have a whiskey specialist, unfortunately. So I have to do most of my shopping online, and then, you get the world bombarded at you and you buy whatever you buy. This comes to me for £50 every 2 months as part of the Summerton Club. We have a kind of random bottle that we don't know what's going to get delivered. I'm not going to review the Summerton service again, but you guys know that I'm a big fan of Summerton. In fact, it would be one of the last things I cut. I know we're all feeling the pinch right now. Me, no more than anyone else or less than anyone else. But this is one thing I'd be keen to keep going, because it's just such a lovely thing to be able to get this bottle every 2 months. But also, stuff like this happens where this is a genuine how it happened. I opened the box, and my first reaction was, alright, I see Wolfburn, fine. At the time, if you look on the actual box itself, this has been specially made for Summerton. Well, I guess it's a sticker that went there. Didn't know anything about it at the time. Then you have the bottle, and then that's where we get the Latitude, which again we'll get into in a bit. But you can see it says Summerton Whisky Club around it. So this has been specially labelled for the club, which is kind of cool, right? But again, I was like, don't know anything about it. Definitely wouldn't have bought it with my own money originally. Not because I dislike. It's just that my money would have probably just gone somewhere else by accident. We have so much choice right now. It's unreal. If you just exploring, sure, this is Scotch, but just exploring world whiskey, just being absolutely bombarded with new whiskies all the time. So yeah, you can't try everything. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's get onto the actual bottle and see what we've actually got inside, and find out why my initial thought of was wrong, and why I love Summerton Club so much because of that. They send me this cool stuff. So we have the Wolfburn Latitude, 46%, natural coloured, non-chill filtered. Obviously cost me 50 quid. This usually runs 60 quid online, but interestingly enough, this was originally a travel retail whiskey. So you might have seen Wolfburn Latitude knocking around if you were ever on a plane, So I haven't been on a plane for like 3 years now, but you know what I'm trying to say. If you were seeing it, you might have seen it. Oddly, in a kind of smoky, greeny, black bottle. Don't really know why, because, actually a funny thing it says on the back here, natural colour, 100% natural colour, shining through. Not through that it isn't, but, whatever. You can see the colour here. It's pretty pale, but you know me, I don't care about the colour, and that's why I don't understand this. And I do understand it. It's marketing for people that do care about colour, but I don't care about colour. That looks lovely to me, and it should be shining through. Let's try and normalise clear bottles. I don't know, just me. 46%, and it's lightly peated, which is kind of cool, right? So we don't get peated stuff from Summerton very often because it's a divisive subject, but this is lightly peated. Enough waffle. Let's get onto the actual whiskey and see what we've got on the nose. It really is lightly peated for me. Yes, it's there, and it's more like smoky rather than kind of dirty peat. But there's bags of extra stuff there. There's some fruitiness, there's some apples and some honeys. Nothing too un-Scotch-like. We have some very, very common flavour profiles in Scotch, and that's things like, your apples, pears, honeys, whatever, things like that. And it's kind of like that with a bit of extra smoke in it. We like that. Let's try on the palate. Now, usually when I'm talking about smoke, I talk about the stages of it. So you usually get like a bit of sweetness first, then you get a bit of a waft of smoke, and then what other flavours are mingling around after that. This one's totally different. It all comes at you at once. And it's like a yeah, more of those apple notes coming through. The smokiness is almost like it's like a Highland Park heatheriness. I don't know what kind of peat they're using. Maybe they're using peat, you know, the heather peat kind of style stuff that the Orkneys are using. They're very high up there. You know, I think they're the most northerly mainland Scottish distillery or whatever. And of course, they're fairly new on the block. You know, they've got whiskies out. They've got a lot of whiskies out, but they're fairly new. Finish is kind of long and peppery, and more smoky than I think the lightly peated gives away. It is a bit more than that, I think, but for me, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. I like some peat. I like this, and I have to say, even still, okay, genuine truth, honest now. When I first popped the cork, again, I was a bit like, yeah, all right. I don't hate it, but I wasn't really into it. But you can see, I don't know, can you see through this glass? Just about there where we're talking. I've been going at it. You know, I've had this for a couple of weeks now, and I've been coming back to it regularly. And it's getting better and better as it goes down. So I'm reviewing it now with kind of an idea that it might improve even more as it goes down. But really impressed with this now. Really impressed with it. And again, full circle. That's what I love about Summerton Club. It like every single month, the drams, the bottles that Dan picks, like they challenge my misconceptions, and I have them. You know, we all have misconceptions. I try to not bring them into my videos because I try to give you an open and honest perspective without too much of my own personal opinion. You know, I just want to talk about quality and things like that. And that's what I'm doing here. You know, I'm telling you what my personal growth with this, but that it is a quality whiskey. That you shouldn't look at things like the colour of the bottle and previous attempts at Wolfburn or whatever, because they've been good. You know, they've been good. I don't know why I don't go back to them. I'm gonna have to change that. I'm gonna have to get some more. I've got some samples behind me. I might drink them and then see if I'm buying a bottle. But you know, like I said, we're all feeling the pinch, so I can't buy everything. But yeah, for me, an absolute winner, and a good one, because it means that more people can get this. You know, I've been covering a lot of Summertons recently where it's been a challenge because they've been Summerton only whiskies, and that's great. Love that, and I encourage you to be a member if you're in the UK and you can afford to do so. But this is actually achievable for you to get hold of this, not being a member. You know, you'll pay a little bit more than me, 60 quid plus postage. So you know, I mean, I made a saving of about £15 on that. We don't pay postage with Summerton. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm waffling a bit, but I like to say it is a good whiskey. It is a good whiskey, and I'm going to very much enjoy this. And it'll probably rank a bit higher on my whiskey of the month. We'll see. I don't know what I'm going to cover yet. Let's go. Right, so yeah, that's Wolfburn Latitude. Thumbs up from me. Thumbs up to Summerton. Another excellent bottle. Thank you very much for picking that for us. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you again on the flip side for more videos in the future. See you later.